Travelers, today we're going to save you time, stress, and maybe even your flight. If you've ever felt flustered at TSA airport security or watched somebody hold up the entire line, this video is for you. These are TSA line mistakes you have to avoid, especially with some new TSA security updates that have just come out. Preparation for airport security should begin before you even get to the airport and are standing in line. Now, whether you have TSA PreCheck or not, all of these airport security mistakes we talk about in today's video are things that should be top of mind. Let's start with a big one, arriving late. I can probably guess we've all been there before, and actually for us, just under a week ago on our way back from a trip to Guatemala. But that's a story that I will touch on later. Assuming everything goes to plan, I would recommend 2 hours early to the airport for a domestic flight and 3 hours early for an international flight. This is a great first step to make sure you have plenty of time to get through the airport security with the least amount of stress possible. As you are planning out and thinking ahead about what time you plan to get to the airport, you should also be thinking about what you are going to wear. People will often make the mistake of wearing way too complicated outfits with things like excessive metal accessories, shoes that are hard to get on and off, belts, lots of heavy layers, though I do encourage one lightweight layer when traveling, being that it'll help keep you warm in the airport. But keep it simple when it comes to planning your outfit for airport security. Think about shoes that can come on and off easily, minimal jewelry. Like I said, if you have layers, try keep them lightweight. You can still dress nicely when dressing simply. I like athleisure when traveling, being that it still looks nice, but it is simple and comfortable. Okay, we are still talking about things you should be doing and planning before you even get to the airport. And this next mistake is probably what causes people the most issues in the security line, and what is ultimately what will slow you down, and that is improper packing. It is very important that you pack your bags with TSA security in mind. To do this, I will start by asking myself what potentially needs to come out of my bag. The two main things for me that usually come out of my bag these days are electronics and liquids. But to be honest, I don't really travel with liquids that much anymore, so it's really just electronics. But either way, I will make sure that I pack everything that might need to come out of my bag in one area. Ideally, even one pocket for easy and quick access when I'm emptying my bag. Now, if I'm traveling with multiple bags like a backpack and a carry-on, I will make sure that I only ever need to open up one bag when going through the security line. So again, making sure that I pack everything that I might need to come out in one bag, so I'm not opening up multiple bags. It's very helpful to have a good idea of where you packed everything in your bag, because you don't want to be that person in the security line unpacking 3 bags to find where you put your laptop or computer. So, a reminder, before you even arrive at the airport, you should plan to arrive early, wear simple outfits, and pack with security in mind. Now that you're at the airport and you've done all of those things, you're standing in line waiting to meet security. Don't make the mistake to not having proper identification ready to go. This might be a driver's license, a passport, and/or boarding passes. When I'm in line, I will make sure to get my identification out, ready to go. Don't forget, for all of you US travelers, there is the new Real ID enforcement that starts very, very soon on May 7th, 2025. If you don't have one and want to learn more about the Real ID and how to get one so you don't get denied boarding to your upcoming flight, I would watch this video here. In other news, in addition to the Real ID enforcement coming, you might start to see a new technology called digital identity and facial recognition technology from TSA. Basically, what this is a mobile driver's license that, when paired with a photo taken at security, will replace the manual checking of your identification. As the TSA states, it will create a faster and easier security experience. I will link a video below that explains the details of this entire process. Some things to note is that right now this technology is not offered in every airport and is completely optional as far as participation. The other thing I found kind of weird about this is that you still have to have your physical ID on hand just in case they need to double check it. I believe the ultimate goal is to not necessarily replace the physical ID, but to provide a faster and more error-free option for travelers. I will be very curious to try out this new technology in the future. After I get out my identification and ready to go, I will start to pay attention to what is going on in the security line in front of me. Lots of mistakes happen for people just because they're not listening and watching what is going on. TSA officers are giving instructions constantly. They'll let you know when to remove shoes, separate electronics, or leave items in your bag, especially with the new CT scanning technology that's rolling out. You don't always have to remove stuff. Because let's be honest, no matter how many times we go through security, the rules always seem to be changing. With that said, some of those seemingly changing rules come from new scanning technology and processes, with one of my favorite updates being the new automated screening lanes. I love this new system. In my opinion, it is way faster and way less stressful, being that you have your own little spot to get everything out of your pockets and unload your bags. I talked about these new automated screening lanes in a previous video and had somebody comment that they actually do not like them and find them to be way slower, which is a very valid opinion, and I always appreciate comments and thoughts on my videos and things that I say. But that comment surprised me a bit. I like with this new screening system, 4 or 5 people can be unloading stuff into bins all at once, compared to the old system where only about 1 or 2 could unload at once. And if one person was a bit slower, it would hold up the entire line. But let me know what you think about these new automated screening lanes down in the comments. We are also seeing new CT scanners in most major airports which allow you to not remove anything from your bag, including liquids, which is very nice. Though the new CT technology is not standard quite yet, but hopefully soon. Which also begs the question, is TSA pre-check really worth it these days? I feel like the gap in benefits between TSA pre-check and the normal line is getting closer and closer. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Is TSA pre-check still worth it? Believe it or not, we are still discussing mistakes that can be made while standing and waiting in line. And the next mistake is having your hands full when approaching security. Outside of your identification, you don't really want to be juggling phones, water bottles, jackets, and things like that. So using a crossbody bag, or like myself, a money belt to help keep things organized can be really nice. You'll move through the security line much more smoothly and decrease the chance of misplacing important things. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far and finding value in it, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up, as well as you might want to subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. Okay, it's your turn to go through security. And something I see often is people panicking or trying to rush the process. Breathe. Smooth is fast in the security line. Panic leads to mistakes, and mistakes slow you down. Also, not being in a stressed state will help you roll with the uncertain punches that security often brings. The next mistake you don't want to make when going through this process is assuming old standards. As we have already talked about, airport security is always evolving with the new technologies and going to different airports. What worked last time might not work today. You should also note that this is when most frustration happens because you think you know what you're doing based on what happened last time you went through security, but things have probably changed since then. Just make sure that you're always looking for signs and listening to the TSA agents. The next one might seem obvious, but don't forget to empty your pockets fully. Don't forget keys, coins, lip balm, and even tissues need to come out. Double check before you step through the scanner. Whenever I see this happen, I always think about this skit from a comedian named Nate Bargatze. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but where he talks about this guy going through the airport body scanner and is confused if the keys he had in his pocket are the issue.
And they're like, do you have anything metal on you? And he goes, keys? Do you think that would do it? They're like, I think that would be the #1 answer on Family Feud of what would set a metal detector off.
It's pretty funny, but It may seem obvious, but it's easy to forget things or just not understand what needs to come out. So empty those pockets. Don't leave items behind. Before you leave the security belt, do a quick scan. Phones, wallets, jewelry. It's easy to leave something behind when you're in a rush. Another reason not to rush. You're also going to want to avoid touching other people's stuff on the security belt. I mentioned this one only because I feel like most of the time this happens, it's not coming from a place of ill intent. You might just actually be trying to help, like keep the bins and bags moving on the belt or grabbing somebody's suitcase who seems overwhelmed. But it is best practice to keep an eye out for your own stuff. Unless somebody is explicitly asking you for your help, then obviously you can help, of course. This next mistake is one of my bigger travel pet peeves, and that is people who don't put away their bins. Reminder, when you're done, stack your bins at the end. It keeps the line flowing for everybody. It is an easy thing to do, but is often forgotten when people are moving fast. But it really does slow things down for everybody when there's empty bins stacked up on the security belt. So try to put those away. Here's your bonus. And honestly, this might be the most important tip of all. Just be a good person in line. A little kindness goes a long way. Communicate kindly with TSA agents and fellow travelers. Be patient. Everyone wants to get through security just like you do. Also, maybe you're dealing with someone who has never been through airport security before. If you see somebody struggling, maybe they're late, maybe they're nervous, give them a hand. Travel can be stressful and your kindness makes it a bit better for everybody. A quick story from a recent flight in Guatemala. Recently, we are traveling through Guatemala City and we got caught in traffic. We were super late to the airport. A drive that was supposed to take 3 hours actually took 6 hours. We got to the airport at 1:54 and our flight left at 2:15. I kid you not, we got to the airport like 20 minutes before our flight left. We were running through the airport, running through customs, running through security. We were asking people, please, can we go in front of you? Our flight leaves in 15 minutes. And everybody was so accommodating. Everybody was like, no problem, go in front of us. And for anybody that let us budge in Guatemala City about a week ago, I thank you so much. We ended up making our flight, probably set a record for going through passport control and airport security in literally about 12 minutes to make our flight. But being nice goes a long way. I also have way more respect for people that are rushing through the airport. I used to kind of always think it's like, oh, they just didn't get to the airport early enough. Well, you never know. There might be something that happened in their day that caused them to be late. It might not just be then being late, right? So it's a good idea to always meet people with some grace and just be a good person and try to be a part of solutions and not problems. But again, I thank you to everybody who let us budge in the Guatemala City airport last week. We made our flight. I actually have a picture of me getting on the plane, super sweaty. I'll put it right here. I was so sweaty because we literally sprinted. There you go. Avoid these mistakes and you'll fly through security like a pro. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Also, maybe share this video with somebody that often gets stressed at airports. It might help them. Anyway, subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and we will see you in the next video.